Alright, I'm David Harry, and in this video, hopefully, I'm going to show you something which is really cool, or at least I think it's dead cool, and it's kind of blown me away a bit. Now, just before I get into that, let me just explain a little bit about this channel. What it is, this used to be my test channel. This is where I used to put all, hundreds of test videos to do with the things that I would do on my main channel to do with cameras and microphones and video stuff editing and things like that. But what it is, I've wanted for a while to start doing some kind of gamey things and stuff like that, and do some kind of geeky techie stuff to do with computery gamey stuff, right across the board, like console, PC, small like Android, Chrome devices, stuff like that. So I just thought it'd be better that I, separate that stuff out. Because quite frankly, especially this video as an example, this is not the kind of stuff I don't think people are going to want to watch when they've gone to a channel which is normally doing microphone and camera stuff. Anyway, that's a bit about this channel. Now, the other thing that I've got to make perfectly clear here, if anybody's come to this video because they're into competitive gameplay, and they want to see this 8K game thing going on, this is not competitive gameplay. For the main reason for that is because I'm absolutely terrible. I'm more of a console gamer, and that's at a push as well. Definitely can't play on a PC properly. So yeah, this is not competitive gameplay. If, however, you're just into geeky stuff and you're interested in, messing around with technology and stuff like that, you might find this video interesting. Okay, so I'm going to try and do here, I'm going to try and land on the floor and try not get myself killed, and then get off somewhere where I can kind of sit on my own in the game and not get bothered or killed by people. And the reason why I have to do that is because I can only do this in one take. And the reason for that is because I can't edit this footage. So even if I were to do a number of takes, I can't edit it. So I've got to do it in one go. And that guy's just run over to that shed over there. He's probably going to get a gun and chase me and have me off. Let me see if I can hurry up and get this car and get out the way. Yeah, so basically what it is, I have to hurry up and act like a chicken and run away here. Otherwise, I can't carry on doing it because I can't edit it. So if you give us a second, let me get out of Dodge here. So what I'm going to try and do is find somewhere in the map where I don't think I'm going to get too much hassle. And then when I do that, I'll start running through some of the settings and stuff just to show you exactly what's going on here. Also, as I'm doing this little drivey through bit to try and find somewhere a bit safer, should give us a really good idea as to what this aspect ratio is like and what kind of field of view we're getting out of it. I think people actually refer to this now as being, I don't know, is this super wide screen or something? Effectively, when someone bolts together two 16:9 monitors, I think people are calling it super wide screen. Now let me see, I wonder if I'm far away enough from the people. In fact, let me get up here. So I'm just going to try and get up here in the car, and then I'll jump out, and then I'll start showing some settings in the actual on the GPU. Oh, look at this. Right, I know I said that was bad, but yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so where I am now, hopefully I can't get ad off so easily. So I'm just going to get into the settings here. Okay, now what I'm going to show you is the resolution and also the settings for the GPU. Now bear in mind, this is on an RTX 2070. Okay, so there's the resolution. So I'm at horizontal 2680 and vertical 2160. Now what it is, this is 8K, but it's 8K with a 32:9 aspect ratio. Now what it is, anytime you see any video resolution, its horizontal resolution is what dictates overall what it is. So in this instance, anything that has 2680 for its horizontal resolution, regardless of what its height is here or its vertical resolution, this bit here will always dictate that it's going to be 8K. And obviously in this instance as well, it's 8K UHD. So when I'm referring to 8K and 4K, I'm referring to both of them as in UHD, which we have to because this isn't DCI, because this is domestic stuff, and obviously the vast majority, well, imagine nearly all games are done in UHD and not DCI anyway. So basically we are definitely in 8K, but at 32:9 on the aspect ratio. And the way that I'm achieving this is by using two 4K monitors side by side and basically just bolting them together as a single monitor view. So that's what gives us a true 8K, but at that aspect ratio. Now the other thing is that 32:9 aspect ratio, as we've seen and as we'll see a bit more when I carry on going through, it gives us a phenomenally wide, well, twice as wide field of view as what we would normally get on a 16:9 monitor, that is. Now obviously doesn't really help someone like me because I'm crap at playing these games, but if you were a competitive game player, then you know that kind of aspect ratio and field of view is amazing. Okay, now what it is, I'm also in very low. Now what it is, the RTX 2070 is capable of doing 60 frames per second in this resolution in very low. The only problem is right now I cannot find any amount of filters, codec filters, that will allow me to do 60 frames per second encoding at 8K. Hence why we're capped out at 30 here. Not because of the GPU, but it's because I can't find anything that will actually encode that. And also, I'm actually, well, it is sort of to do with the GPU as well, because I'm actually using Nvenc to do this. So I'm using H.265 on Nvenc. Now also, I have got VSync on. Now the reason my VSync is on is because it just has to be. Anytime you're doing stuff where you're doing like video or screen grabbing, which other people have to see on YouTube, you have to put VSync on, otherwise you're going to get frame tearing and such. Okay, so that's the basis of all that. So now that I've explained what it is, let me get back into here. Now let's just have a quick look out there. Now aside from the fact that the GPU rendering is set really low, we can obviously see the detail there of the resolution, and also maybe more importantly to serious gamers is just such a huge wide aspect ratio, which is going to allow you to see way more of like the gameplay, you know, than like what you could do on a 16:9. So that's just absolutely insane. Obviously you'd have to have two monitors with very thin bezels, so or offset the bezel anyway. But yeah, you know, I don't know about you, because you may be watching this back all like kind of like black barred on a 16:9, but if you watch this spanned across two 16:9 monitors, the field of view is absolutely amazing. Okay, so I've explained a couple of things there, hopefully, and this is boring, I'll grant it that. And I did warn that this, you know, this is only for like geeky types and such. So I'll carry on anyway. And if you're still watching this, if you've managed to find this video, I'm fairly sure you probably don't mind the boring ass nature of this video. So what I'm going to try and do here is get somewhere else, hopefully a bit higher up, where I can't get had off so easily. And then what I'm going to do is start changing the GPU settings, or well, more to the point, the actual detail settings for all the GPU rendering. Don't forget, we're already at a very high resolution, but we can enhance that obviously with the GPU settings for detail and stuff and render quality. Okay, so I'm just going to look out over here. Now I'm going to go in and change some settings. Now I think the first thing we'll notice, if you look on the back of the player's t-shirt, his logo, it's all a bit smudgy. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go jump straight to medium here. So let's get to medium. Hold on. So overall settings, these are what it is. I'm not going to start going and changing individual ones. It's just not worth it for this particular, this particular test on stuff. So I want to go back here. Aside from it having to repopulate, oh, there we go, straight away. Now look at that for his t-shirt on the back, so you can see definitely straight away there is now more detail within the resolution of what we're looking at. So what I'm going to do here is do a bit of a slow pan. Now, the other problem that I have here is I can't put Afterburner on, so I can't get my stats up into the top corner. And the reason for that is because for whatever reason, at this resolution, Afterburner being on is causing me serious issues with the microphone of all things. But hopefully what we should see there is a very impressive picture as far as resolution is concerned, and now also maybe, you know, graphical detail after we've kind of, you know, smidged it up to the medium settings. Now, when I'm looking at this, I am not getting any frames dropping whatsoever. So although yes, we're in a low frame rate, which is 30, I'm actually seeing a completely smooth picture with nothing dropping. Now, unfortunately, on the encode, and as you're watching it, that may not be the case, because I'm still having some issues when I'm doing the encode, and those issues are basically showing up as dropped frames or repeated frames, when in fact that's not what's in the game. So it's definitely occurring at the encoder, and I'm actually using the Nvenc encoder, like I say, the H265 variant as well. And also what I've had to do to kind of get this thing working as best as possible is to only use 90 megabits per second, which is massively low. So if you think about it, what we're doing here, we've got two 4K monitors side by side, which is effectively 8 HD screens. Now, what's really odd about that? For HD, I would never go anywhere below 100 megabits. So this is actually 8 times the pixel density of what I would normally use with no lower than 100. And I'm only using 90. Granted, it's H.265 and it's it's more efficient than H.264, but nonetheless, it's a very, very low bitrate. So things are going to have to give here. But the most impressive thing that I'm trying to get across is that this is an RTX 2070 doing all this. I'm on an i9 processor and 16 gigs of fast RAM and all that, but in all honesty, that's not what's going to be doing this. This is going to be down to the RTX. Now, the weird thing is the GTX 1060 that I've got. I hope this guy isn't coming up to see me. Oh no, don't, buddy. I'm not playing the game. Sorry. Oh, I'm going to piss him off. Do you know, I might have to go because, yeah. I feel really bad now because he's obviously come over to, like, you know, buddy up and stuff to go and fight all the bad guys. But, sorry, mate. I'm testing stuff here. I'm not playing a game. Actually, that's pretty tight, that, isn't it? Yeah, so anyway, what I was getting at there, and this actually gives us a really good idea now. Actually, to be honest, what I'm seeing on the screen here is looking very smooth for 30. Like I say, don't know if it's dropping on the encode, but that doesn't seem to be dropping hardly any frames or repeating any frames. Actually, that's the thing as well. Frames aren't dropped when this happens. What happens is it just repeats the same rendered frame, which gives the impression of a dropped frame. So it's just repeated frames that you see. Anyway, the point that I was getting at just then before I upset that guy and ran away from him is yeah, on an RTX on a GTX 1066 gig, I'm able to do this exact same thing, but at the very low settings, but with the same resolution in this 32:9 aspect ratio. And what's allowing me to do that, I don't know, because how on earth a GTX 1060 of all things is able to do that, I don't know. As I'm talking again, I'll just kind of slowly pan round just so we can get a bit of an idea as to what's going on here as far as field of view resolution and whatnot is concerned. But yeah, but like I say, as far as the GTX was concerned, it will do this in the ultra low settings, maintain a constant 30 at that 8K 32:9 resolution and aspect ratio, which is absolutely mental. Now, the only reason why I've not shown that one so far is because I can't record it. Because what happens is when I put the RTX in, there are variations of filters that will occur within inside the system which can be used, such as the Nvenc for H.265, which is what allows me to just about do this stuff, although it will at some point drop frames, unfortunately, even though we're well within the 8K30, which is what the Nvenc encoder is actually rated at. I believe that may actually be the same also for some of the GTX series. Unfortunately, I've not had any success in selecting that running under the GTX drivers. Okay, so I think that'll give us a good idea of what that's doing, and I'm just aware that I'm just rabbiting on, and all but the most hardened nerdy type is probably going to find this extremely boring. But what I'm going to do here is, let me just change once again. Now I'm going to put this up to ultra. This is just going to this is going to look terrible, as far as it's just going to look like it's skipping everywhere, but it should give us an idea of the absolute resolution when I stay still. So let me get back here, and there we go. Look at that. Right, some of these things, some of the textures might take a little while to update. It's just going to have to flush its textures and then up them again. But if you look straight away again on the characters t-shirt, the logo on the back, let me just look down at the car. Okay, now as we can see here, this is just going to be jittering everywhere. We're absolutely trashing the GPU to do this. Even he can't move without dropping all over the place on his own. But if I hold still like I am now, it'll give us a really good idea of what we can see as far as resolution and detail are concerned. So let me just swing around this way. I mean, just look at that. That is absolutely mad. You know, I just think that is amazing. That how on earth? I mean, this isn't even a super. It's just a normal RTX 2070. How on earth it's doing this, I don't know. And as you could see, even in medium, we were only dipping below 30 every now and then when we were moving really fast as well. And plus, what you got to remember there as well, the more things that are actually in the actual field of view, which have to be rendered, or anything that's pre-rendered outside the field of view, where it's kind of like, you know, where you move it into it, there's only so much of that can be done. And because we have now doubled the field of view here as well, that makes it even more impressive as to what this card is doing. Now what I'm going to do here, this is going to be already boring as hell, so I'm going to have to finish off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump in the car, and I'm just going to drive off. Now, look, buddy, I'm sorry, mate. I'm not going to come and kill people with you because I'm just terrible at it. I'm testing games. You know, I should have put the mic on in the game. Oh, I could tell that guy just to not bother. Anyway, yeah, so what I'm going to do here, this is definitely all over the place as far as the frames are concerned. But hopefully it'll give us an idea of resolution and how good this actually looks. Well, it would look this good if we could maintain the frame rate, but it's just an idea, give people, you know, something to look at, you know, anyone who's interested in, you know, knowing what these things respond like and how they look and all the rest of it. So I'll kind of play this through maybe for another minute or so, and like I say, because I can't edit these things, it'll just have to finish, so I'll finish it rather abruptly. In fact, let me get on this road and let's just get down here. Yeah, like I said, this is terrible as far as frame rate is concerned, but hopefully it gives us some idea as to the resolution and stuff. Anyway, so just to round this off, as I'm driving around aimlessly waiting to get ads off by a sniper, yeah, I'm David Harry anyway, and like I said before, this particular channel is going to be full of like nerdy type stuff, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people use the term nerds. I don't think it's a bad thing, you know. But dare to say, boring stuff, you know, and just like a lot of weirdo things which a lot of people maybe aren't into. But like I said, my background is kind of video, audio, and stuff like that, and I'm just trying to do a bunch of things here where the video side of stuff will probably come into play for the likes of this. Yeah, so, you know, think about subscribing to the channel and calling back and whatnot. And the vast majority of the stuff that I'll do won't be like this. It'll be boring, but not this boring, because I'll be able to edit most other things. And to be honest as well, a lot of the other stuff I'm going to be doing is actually doing gameplay on devices that cost £25 and stuff like that. You know, so I want to kind of go right across the board on like pushing technologies and things like that in all kinds of price ranges and things, and you know, doing how-tos. I mean, there's a bit, I'm really big into like the Chrome OS stuff and things like that, and Android and things, and I'm really into Phoenix OS and PUBG on Phoenix, which is amazing on that platform. Okay, yes, so I think I've kind of talked myself out here, and if anybody has actually reached this far into this video, I really appreciate it. So once again, I'm David Harry, and I'm going to get off here now, otherwise I will never ever shut up. So as I would always say on my other channel, thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.